It is a time to pause and reflect. I said it is a time to pause and reflect. It's a time to look back to what happened, what transpired in the year 2020. It's a time to reconsider if you're going to walk the same path in the year 2023. Hi, my name is Dr. Gideon Fomukwai, the story warrior. The story warrior, the guy that helps business people to fight business fires by using powerful words of wisdom, narratives, and anecdotes that illuminate a very clear and glaring path ahead. Without your anecdotes, without your narratives, you don't have the conviction to face another day. So I come in to help you to pause and reflect and look back and capture some ideas so you can ask yourself, how did I get here? What brought me here? Who brought me here? What journey brought me here? Which river brought me here? Oh, yes. And who are my unsung heroes? So, the year 2020 has been full of light, a bit of darkness, some mountains, some forest, some rivers, and yes, the Mediterranean Sea. Oh boy, did it taste really salty. You know what? I'm getting ahead of myself. As I'm beginning to reflect on what has happened in the year 2022, I'm asking myself, Gideon, what are the most powerful lessons that you've learned from this year? And it's dawned on me that some of the most powerful lessons did not happen within the circumference of this room, or this city, or even this country. So I'm beginning to look at the big picture. I see the three distinct things that happened this year. Number one, I visited my favorite country in the whole world, Turkey. Number two, I initiated a move to a new state, the great state of Texas. It's super flat everywhere, but I'm still learning to get adjusted to that. And yes, there's been a lot of travel, domestic and international. But the most important thing that I can say from this year is that the more I paused to look back, the more I see the power of interaction with other people, with other cultures, with other institutions, with other associations and associates. Those people have all made me a little bit better. When I visited Turkey, I learned so much. And yes, one powerful revelation from Turkey was that the old Lycian leak had a contribution ideologically to the making of modern day America. Can you believe that? That's something that the history books never taught me. But when I went to the seat of government of old Lycia, an empire or a federation that existed before Christ, I saw the foundation stone of an old and ancient city. I saw some of their amphitheaters. I picked up pebbles. I smelled the feet of the giants that formed the world's first federation. And only then I realized that some famous American founding fathers, like James Madison, yes, and the famous treasury, the first treasury secretary, oh, the one that you know about. They wrote about the Lycian way. They wrote about the Lycian Federation, and they borrowed some ideas from that in the making of modern day America. And yes, I visited some cities that I never learned about in history at school. And this only taught me a very powerful lesson, ladies and gentlemen. When you stop learning, you stop growing. And it also confirms what Ervin Toffler said. The illiterate of the 21st century are not those who cannot read or write. It is those who cannot learn unlearn, and relearn. I don't want to be illiterate anytime soon. That's why I went out there with all humility to learn from the experts. And I came back with a bag full of new, fascinating destinations that I could go back 10 times and I would not be even satisfied. The Mediterranean Sea, Mount Olympus, Mount Musa. By the way, Musa is Moses. All these places that I read about as a young boy, I got to see them firsthand. And it changed my internal chemistry forever. But I want to pause and say, what are the lessons that you've learned from this year? What are some of those powerful, illuminating lessons that you're taking from 2022 into 2023? What stories would you tell your children? What stories would you tell your colleagues? What stories would you tell your friends at the end of year parties that 2022 had given you? What memories, what moments would you be able to capture? For me, I am in the business of helping people, organizations, and institutions to capture their precious memories in the form of experiences, in the form of these moments which we cannot afford to lose, and put them in written form or put them in electronic form so that someday someone else can benefit from it, because we make sense of the world through the eyes, through the ears, through the sights and sounds of all those who have come before us. So I want to open up to you and say, what stories are you wrestling with? What experiences are you challenged by? What experiences do you want to capture for your children, for your business, for your partners, for your associates for next year? Can I say I'll be happy to help? I'll be more than happy to help because I am your story warrior. Oh, yes, I am the guy that helps business people like you to tell fascinating or captivating stories for a purpose or for a profit. And if you do that, you cultivate trust with your followers, you cultivate trust with your associates, and over time, you can turn that into currency. It's not an overnight job, but it's a thoughtful, it's a meticulous, it's a respectful process. And I submit to you that it has changed my life many times over. So once again, this is the Story Warrior, Gideon Fomukwai, a product of Africa, produced in Asia, packaged in America, distributed worldwide to people like you, to business people like you who want to tell their stories for a purpose, for a profit. If that's you, leave me a comment. Invite me, the Story Warrior, to get into a consultation with you, to get into a conversation with you, and slowly we will uncover the gems of your own story. Thank you so much. Peace. And say it's a time to reflect. It's a time to reflect. In the words of Steve Jobs, you cannot connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect the dots looking backward. But you have to trust that somehow the dots will connect. And that's why I'm signing out, trusting that somehow your dots from this year will connect. Your dots and my dots would connect. Once again, peace to you, Story Warrior, checking out at last. Peace.